All right, everybody, welcome in. Sorry for the delay for our community showcase as we kick off the weekend here. Welcome in Mindswept, Agnosia, Mellybub, Shock, Nathan, Super Peck, Ferox, T-Storm, Matt, and last but not least, Mac and Cheesy. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, if you haven't already, be sure to sign up in the Discord at discord.gg/enhance. You should see the event is happening now when you hop into the Discord. Click on the event details. You'll find a link to the thread. And yeah, we'll get these matches started so that everyone can get some airtime here. And yeah, I just shared the room code in the Discord chat. So I believe first up we're going to have Shock and Got Yo Sauce. So Shock, Got Yo Sauce, make your way to the lobby. And Got Yo Sauce is on it. Nice. And I am Austin. Hope you're all doing well. My headset cracked, so you can see my ears for the first time live. Yeah, I think we have some exciting matches coming up here with a wide skill range, so pretty excited for tonight. And get some classic going here. Also realized I forgot to put on my Tetris merch. It's Tetris Merch Friday for the stream. But anyone have any fun weekend plans? Any games they're playing? I know there was that Shadow Drop on Oblivion. Maybe someone in chat's playing that. I have been playing Tetris, but curious to know what everyone else has been playing. Peanut butter and banana sandwich. Very nice. Peanut butter, banana, honey. Peanut butter, honey is like my favorite combo when it comes to peanut butter sandwiches. I don't know if I've had peanut butter, honey, banana. That sounds really good. I might have to test that. We have a matchup for T-Storm tonight. If not, T-Storm, you can crush me or something, as you have in recent community events. And all right, Shock, Got You Sauce. When you two are ready, I'm ready. Just first to one, and if we have an early top out, we can run it back for whoever's playing here. But yeah, good luck, have fun. You have COVID. Got the late 2025 COVID. That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully you can relax, have some soup, or whatever is your COVID curing food of choice. Miso soup or something. Okay. Let's make sure the room code's not showing here. And bam. Oh, there it is. So first up on tonight's showcase, we have Shock on the left, who I believe probably has the highest amount of showcases attended, and Got Your Sauce on the right, which has been on a hot streak, if I am not mistaken. Has been hanging out with us in the Discord hangouts from time to time, which is nice. And by the way, we have another Discord hangout during the full moon tomorrow. If you're looking to play some Tetris alongside the enhanced community, myself, Ferox, and Commando hop in there, and we kind of just hang out, play Tetris, snipe each other in the full moon queues for connected versus and/or 1v1s, play some friend matches, the weekend ritual, etc. So definitely stop on by if you're planning to play the game and are looking for a more social atmosphere. My family won't play Tetris with me, so I need to find other people to play Tetris with, and here I am at Enhance. Okay, so Got Your Sauce with a 4-wide opener. Very nice. Yeah, I'm in the 9,000 range. Truly, I'm a 15k, but I just don't ladder. I'm kidding. T-Storm's better than me. All right. Although if it's a best of one, maybe I can pull off a dub. Shock with the Tetris, tied up here. I think just one line, a double separating the two. With the level 5 start, nice and chill. I like the level 5 color palette with the pastel watercolor vibes. Tetris for both players. Shock kind of maintaining a little bit of a better board state, but Gaio Sauce is keeping up. And I believe Gaio Sauce has been on the training arc recently. I think mixing in T-spins when it comes to zone battle. As for Classic, I am not sure if Gaio Sauce is practicing, but looking pretty good here. It's all about that Tetris line clear. Do you know what a Tetris is, chat? That's when you clear 4 lines at once, and that's how you get the maximum bonus in Classic Score Attack. Pretty much Tetris or nothing. Well, I say that. If you don't get a long bar, you are going to want to clear something. But, yeah, the goal is to get as many Tetrises as possible before the gravity gets out of hand, unless you can do crazy control maneuvers. Tetris is a game. That is true. Tier 7 currently. Yeah, I think the trick to getting Tier 10 is to play in all the game modes and be sure to clear the connected co-op. That's a big boost as well. But yeah, we have some players that only play Zone Battle, for example, and they're never going to be Tier 10. I believe, can you get Tier 10 from just one game mode? That's actually a good thought experiment. Maybe if you get like super high, like 20k Zone Battle rating or something. If you're Siake Gohan, I suppose. Getting a little high for both players. Maybe a slight drought. Oh, I need to put on the drought counter for next match. Why is that off? Sometimes it just turns off. Switching around builds too much, I guess. Okay. Ooh, that is a rough long bar placement for Gaio Sauce. I think that was early enough that we can do one more. I usually do around 5 minutes is the goal. That's on the fence. CD. Yeah, that was a painful misdrop. We can all relate to the flagpole, I believe it's referred to. Especially if you get that flagpole when you're moving quickly, it'll sneak up on you. And who's on deck here? Let's see. Just so we can keep moving on here. I believe on deck will be PH and ORG Pac-Man, aka Jason. Be ready to play following this match. Then we're going to have Mac and Cheesy versus Coffee and Tetris. And T-Storm is looking for a match, as well as Agnosia. So if you are looking for a player around the 6 to 7k range, and or someone above the 9k range, take T-Storm off my plate here. That would be appreciated. Do not sabotage me and choose not to play just so I can play. I prefer someone else. Just kidding. I would love to play if no one else does. So what do we got here? I think Shock got the first Tetris. Ooh, kind of a tricky board state for Got Yo Sauce. That middle should be able to accommodate a wide range of pieces. Yeah, when you're stacking classic score attack, you want to stack in such a way where you minimize piece dependency. What I mean by that is you want to have a board that accommodates any piece, or as many pieces as possible, to accommodate the pure randomness of the upcoming piece, right? So you definitely, I think it's maybe disingenuous to say just keep your board flat. Sometimes you don't even want your board to be flat, but you definitely want to keep in mind, like, you're going to want to create wells and whatnot that accommodate any piece. Of course, you can get fancy with it, create tucks and spins and stuff like that, but for building good fundamentals, just work on minimizing piece dependency and getting as many Tetrises as possible. Actually, earlier on, I would just even say work on survivability. You don't even want to greed too hard. If you can survive and get Tetrises later, that will be a key to victory. All right. Got Your Sauce doing a good job. We do have that Tetris waiting in the right well once Got Your Sauce can get back there, and there we go. Open up for business. And this time Shock is running into a little bit of a mess. Going to have to work through this and bring it down, get back into a scoring position. So it should allow Got Your Sauce to get caught up, given she can score, but looks like she ran into some errors here. Some Ferox wisdom. Avoid making dependencies. If you're forced to avoid making multiple of the same. Oh, I see. If you're forced to avoid making multiple of the same dependencies. Okay. I was missing the social cue on that. Yeah, or the comma. But yeah, like, there are going to be situations where it's like, okay, I'm going to have to take some losses here and try to make the most of it. Where sometimes you just want to even, like, create a hole in your stack. You don't need to have an immaculate stack at all times. If you create a hole and it maintains, like, a clean board above it, like even what Got Your Sauce is doing right here, right? Eventually, that hole is going to be cleared. But she has a healthier board on top of that hole, right? So she'll get a triple here, but now she can either stack for a Tetris or work to just bring it down and get back to that clean right well. Shock with the large death-defying Tetris there. All right, so because I start on level 5, at 60 lines we began the level progression, and every 10 lines forward we're going to be moving up in levels, which will be increasing the speed, in addition to allowing higher point values for score per line cleared. So Tetrises are going to be worth more. Even when you're watching the best of the best play, just always keep in mind, the higher the level, and the longer they survive, they can try to make up the point gap if they're getting Tetrises in the late game, right? So Tetrises will be worth more later on. Of course, you want that clean start. You want to be able to set that pace. But really, being able to finish out games, get to the later levels so you can get higher scores is pivotal in competition. There is no hard drop in Classic Score Attack. Yeah, so this game mode within Tetris Effect is a faithful recreation of the 1989 version on the original Nintendo. Inspired by the Classic Tetris World Championship, if you haven't watched it. So no hard drop here. No T-spins. For the Tetris purists out there, they love this game mode. But as I say that, my favorite is probably Zone Battle still, but I love playing the classic rule set too. And got you sauce with a strong game 2 there. Getting a little faster there, post level 9. And nicely played Shock. So next up, we're going to have PH and ORG Pac-Man be ready to play. And thank you too for kicking off tonight's live stream. You can T-spin. That is true. Whatever physically makes sense, you can do. There are some interesting spins, I guess, in the right well, but I think Classic Tetris is easier to understand, but very hard to master, especially when it comes to control. The control is faithful at the same time, where you can't easily get left and right quickly, right? You can, but you can't. You can't at the higher levels. Ooh, that was quick. They are in the lobby. They are ready to play. Oh, look at that, everybody. Round of applause for Pac-Man and PH. That was like record time. It's like 2 seconds. Like, we got back into the lobby. They hit ready. We did it. Yeah, great game, you two. Oh, we didn't change the... They were so quick that I didn't even think to change the HUD. We'll try to do that next game. Yeah, these two get gold stars, and I get a red X on my paper for failing to change the HUD in time. A little quick with it to try to tuck in that S piece, but Pac-Man gonna do a very nice skim over the top, creating kind of what I like to call it a roof burn. There's multiple ways to label moves in Tetris. The vernacular varies from region to region, person to person. Will there be a tournament for TEC on start.gg later this year? Good question. Obviously nothing announced yet, but of course, if we can host more tournaments, if we have the ability to, we will. You're new to comp Tetris. I only learned recently that both players get the same pieces. Yeah, not in every game. In our definitely for anything Tetris Effect, yeah, everyone will get the same pieces in all of the game modes, which makes it fair, right? Especially in Classic, you can be dealt less long bars, for example, if you don't have the same piece set. I guess in more modern variants, you could have different openers, or generally the openers that might change the pace of the game. But in Classic, you definitely want to have same piece set to maintain fairness. Thanks for the reminder, T-Storm. Never let me down, chat. They were so quick with it to get into the next game. I couldn't even process changing it. You're gonna riot, okay. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't change it. I want to see how the enhanced Discord manages a riot. If you want to take lead, Ferox. All right, well, we have a very even game so far. Classic Tetris commentaries, I've always loved it because it's fairly chill, right? Of course, even in early levels, the best players will try to greed out of their minds to get Tetrises only, and will top out early. But the pacing's always nice. I feel like it's a very nice pace for Classic Tetris, where you start out kind of chill with the lower levels, and then it ramps up naturally, right? With for standard competition, it starts on 18, goes to 19, into 28, and then that post 29 play is off the wall crazy, right? So you get your breaks as a commentator to chill out a little bit. Whereas in Zone Battle, it's a little harder. All right, Pac-Man doing a great job maintaining a clean stack here with that 0-9 well. PH also has 0-9, finds some really clean burns here, back into the open well, ready to score. Similar line count, so we do have a true lead here for Pac-Man. Sometimes players will soft drop a little faster, maybe stack higher to the point where pieces will hit the top of their build quicker, and they can kind of like play into the future a little bit. Set the pace for the opponent, which I think actually has more of an impact on Tetris Effect because of the 2-minute timer when you top out, right? Which is unique to this this game. So when a player tops out, they have 2 minutes to chase down the opponent, so speed can be a factor. Roxy should write a book about how that would play out. I would be interested in that sci-fi fantasy fiction novel about where Ferox takes over the enhanced Discord. All right, so we are moving a little faster here as we approach level 9. Yes, fantasy. Don't scare me. Wait, is it not fantasy? All right, so PH, despite having the score deficit earlier, managing to hit a lot of Tetrises and is up by 57k. But as these levels progress, as I mentioned earlier, the score will be higher per Tetris. So Pac-Man, if Pac-Man just keeps a clean board, keeps their cool, they can easily get caught up here. Oh, welcome in, Light Rod. What about Fairbot? Well, before we discuss what could happen to Fairbot, PH a little high up here. Gets a triple to bring this down, and another triple. Definitely worth taking that one. You're only going to get one row cleared, as those the rows 1 through 4 are kind of frozen until it can be opened up there. Unfortunately, I think PH might have lost control there. Either that, or they wanted to force a 2-minute timer. I'm going to assume it was control, as the levels are putting pressure on our players. And ooh, missing the right well there is going to be the end of Pac-Man. GG, that was a good game. Pretty even pace, and then PH was playing a bit faster while maintaining that Tetris rate, so nicely played. GG's. All right, I'm going to remake this lobby so that I can put on the HUD before Ferox riots in this fantasy novel. Who is up next? Let's see. So Mac and Cheesy and Coffee and Tetris, you are up next. We'll send you a room code in the Discord. And Fairbot will remind people of the room code from this point forward. But yeah, we had somebody in chat earlier saying they're new to competitive Tetris. Don't be shy. We try to have competition open to players of all skill levels, excuse me. And tomorrow, we're going to be hanging out in the Discord, playing some friendly competitive matches. Whether we're just going to be sniping each other in ranked, or we'll have some friend lobbies set up. And that'll be at 5 p.m. Is it 5 or 6? 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. But if you want to know what time it is in your local time zone, just check the Discord. It'll be in the events list. Okay, where is it? Classic score attack HUD on. Okay. Oh, nice. Blink's in here. We have a good matchup for Agnosia now. So PH and Pac-Man are welcome to play some extra friendlies on the side here, but we're gonna move on with our queue. But thanks for asking. There we go. Fairbot with the notification. Oh, they're in here. All right, so we got Mac and Cheesy on the left, Morg on the right. Gumby versus a jellyfish. Good luck, have fun. I forget the actual name of that avatar, but it looks like the Gumby character. The blockheads, yes. All right, so Coffee and Tetris on the right, aka Morg, within the game. And Mac and Cheesy on the left, who I believe is still fairly new to our community showcase roundup here. I think they had their first showcase either this past week or the week before. So happy to see. I'm always happy to see new players returning. And yeah, we started to build quite the pool of players here every Friday, which is cool to see. Level 5 seems to be the meta here today. What everyone wants to play. All for it. It's a good starting level. What's everyone's favorite level color? It's a classic question. I think 5's up there for me. Probably 4. 4 or 14 or 24 or 34. I've never got to level 34 though. CJ called out to play in the showcase. That is up to CJ. Yes, that is the goal. LOL Attack Productions is to be chill. We have plenty of sweaty, prize-filled Tetris champion caliber tournaments, right? But it's nice to have something for the everyman every Friday. That's kind of the goal here. The goal is to be chill, so I'm glad you feel that way. Of course, we're gonna have high-level matchups here and there, and do some invitational show matches, etc. But generally, yeah, the goal is just to allow players of all skill levels to play some friendly multiplayer, because multiplayer can be intimidating too, right? So hopefully here, although I guess playing in front of multiple eyeballs can be intimidating, but that's also good practice if you want to play in other community tournaments, because you're going to be in the limelight, going to be used to showing your play, right? So there's a lot of merit to participating in these, whether you are a seasoned player or someone brand new. Tetris for Mac and Cheesy. More cleaning up here. Likely going to get back into that 09 well. Yeah, Morg, even in modern Tetris, manages to keep a really clean 09 well. So you would think that would transfer into Classic. However, Classic can be brutal due to the random piece generation. In Zone Battle or Score Attack or any single player Tetris mode in Tetris Effect Connected, it should be fairly... It'll feel a lot more natural to try to maintain a 09 well. Even if you're not like looking at all the piece previews, right? You're going to get more fair random pieces given to you to accommodate in what's called the 7-bag system. You're bound to get one of the 7 pieces in the first starting bag, and then one of the 7 pieces within the next, I guess, 12 or 13 pieces, right? 13. I guess 2 of that piece within the next 13 pieces. Something along those lines. I should know these things. Morg is getting up high here. Ooh. Goes for the tuck. Baking on getting a long bar here. Do not press down when you are up this high. Take your time. Ooh, gets a nice piece. Okay, I like that. So far, I am on the same page. That was risky, but kind of makes sense. Where's that long bar? We've had 15 pieces without a long bar. There we go. Get a nice L piece. I'm going to want to try to get that to the right. Perfect. Speeding up slightly. Ooh. Meanwhile, Mac and Cheesy. So here's the thing in a competitive classic Tetris. When you see your opponent is doing things like this, you'll be like, okay, I have the lead. I can keep my cool. And that's why this isn't really a true... It's like asynchronous in a way, but it's not single player. It's like versus single player, right? But you can still alter your play depending on how your opponent's doing. So, for example, in this case, you could be like, okay, my opponent is up high, taking a lot of singles. I do not need to play aggressive. I can keep my cool. I already have a lead. I don't need to go out of my way to score Tetrises, right? And that's kind of in spirit how competitive classic Tetris works. And if you see they top out, you can go for a chase down, kind of calculate, okay, when is this going to speed up to the point where I can't play anymore? How aggressive do I have to play? So depending on how your opponent's playing and the mistakes they make, you can change up your strategy and play style, which makes classic Tetris quite interesting to watch. Ooh. I think that was a deliberate move with the J piece from Morg given the upcoming long bar, so made a what's called an adjustment. So we can see the gears turning for Morg. The speed is dialing up a bit. Ooh, gets the long bar! No! Can't get the long bar over to the right. And Mac and Cheesy is golden. It's got that golden cheese hue going into this victory. That craft gold. Craft orange. So here's a new term. When you play it out despite being ahead on score, this is what's called a Mullen. Coined after Ben Mullen, who went for a max out following a win against, I want to say, who is he playing? Corion? Went the distance. But yeah, search Ben Mullen in Classic Tetris, and you'll see the man who coined the term Mullen. Very good man at that. Okay, while Mac and Cheesy is finishing up here, who's up next? Up next, we're going to have Agnosia versus Blank. All right, similar ratings. Mac and Cheesy, Coffee and Tetris, thanks for playing, per usual. Oh, look, Mac and Cheesy even does have that golden hue over their avatar for level 9. Oh, not mullet. Ben Mullen. Iconic player. I can't remember if he actually got the max or not. I'm going to have to study. Take a look at the history there. If someone wants to do that job for me and get back to us in chat. But that's like, that was also when max outs used to be very, very rare because no one could hyper tap or roll, right? You had to use the built-in speed, which is pretty hard to get used to the rhythm of it. And like the community is smaller too, right? So getting a max out at that point was kind of worth a Mullen. Nowadays, it's like, all right, we've seen 10 million. But of course, it depends on your personal best too. I think if you're on like personal best pace, you could always play it out. As long as it's not like in the first 10 lines, right? Or too early in the game. All right, well, it looks like our players are in here. Agnosia and Blank, when you're ready, I'm ready. Good luck, have fun. Yes, Corion was the only hyper tapper who inspired JD, or Joseph Saley, who inspired a bunch of young players. And here we are today, where we have 13-year-olds crushing us. Thanks, Corion. Anyways, Agnosia versus Blank. Good luck, have fun. Blank, I don't believe, has played in any community showcases, so welcome in, Blank. Agnosia started playing recently. However, I know they've been playing in all of our tournaments, the ECWC tournaments. I believe has won some of the bronze brackets in the past. So seeks out the competition. Love to see it. Oh, see ya, PH. Thanks for stopping by, per usual. Fave Tetris pal is the blue and orange. Just like the blue box Mac. Although I'm more of an Annie's Mac girl these days. Interesting. Yeah, if I am going to try to satiate that powder cheese taste, I do go for the Annie's myself personally. I know you can buy like bulk powder cheese too, right? It's probably the more efficient way to do things. But real talk, nothing beats a good homemade mac and cheese alongside some ribs or protein of your choice. And for me, it's collard greens. Collard greens finishes the plate for me. Oh, we got a little tuck action here from Agnosia. Open for business in column 8. Blink keeping it really nice and clean here. Does have a lower Tetris rate. Agnosia does have an 80% Tetris rate, but is getting into some interesting stacks, but I'm loving to see it here. But to the point where we're likely going to see some line clears. And single line clears to fix it up here. Center wall isn't bad in Classic. I think generally it is advised to have that right well, even seen by like from AI that has been trained to learn Tetris, right? Right well is the way to go. It kind of allows you to get the long bar farthest to the right. It accommodates a lot of spinning techniques, as the rotation system in Classic. Ooh, we got a Vitz! Ooh, I was not ready to see that. Very nice. Death-defying long bar tuck. Where was I? I forgot completely what I was talking about. Thank you, Agnosia, for wiping my memories clean there. Alright, Tetris for Agnosia. Tetris for Blank. Double Tetris for Blank. And Blank is playing a little bit ahead in the future. So one thing to note here, so you can turn on this HUD, anybody can do this, where you see the Tetris rate and the drought. If you head to the graphics settings, scroll down a little bit and you're going to see Classic Score Attack HUD. And that'll allow you to see the Tetris rate and drought in game as well. But if a player's ahead on lines, one thing that's good to look at is the Tetris rate. It's not always the most accurate, especially if like someone's only gotten Tetrises. So, for example, say you have the same Tetris rate, but one player has gotten more Tetrises on higher levels, and the other player's had more Tetrises on lower levels. Even despite having the same Tetris rate, the one that scored Tetrises later in the game is going to be ahead, right? So keep that in mind when you're looking at Tetris rate only. But generally, especially if they're at the same line count and have similar pacing, Tetris rate's a good way to check how far behind they are despite their line count, right? Or if they're on pace to get caught up. Ooh, crispy breadcrumbs on the top. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, I'm hungry. Tetris for Agnosia. Excuse me. All right, so Agnosia takes the lead with that Tetris. Maintaining a healthier Tetris rate as well, so Agnosia is looking good here, but Blank has a clean slate, a blank slate, if I may, and is looking to score some Tetrises. Does run into some odd S and Z pieces at the wrong time, so going to have to work through some single line clears. It is not over until it's over. This is actually a very close game still, so Blank behind by 19k, and if Blank gets to level 18, for example, and is able to play on these later levels, that's less than a Tetris, so Blank can 100% get caught up with these late game Tetrises, despite having a lower Tetris rate. And Agnosia might not be able to keep up and get to these later levels, so that will be a skill on display here. Ooh, very nicely timed long bar there for Agnosia. Kind of bailed out there from having to sec too high up. Nice double skim there to open the well. And Blank near the bottom here. All right, this is a great matchup. Still anybody's game despite Blank being behind right now. It's going to come down to these later levels. It seems like both players are fairly comfortable. Agnosia earlier on was kind of taking their time, trying to puzzle out how can I get the most efficiency. But at a certain point, you're going to want to kind of get into autopilot mode, work on your control, make sure you have no missteps, right? It seems like both players are doing that fairly well. Blank gets a very nice Tetris there on going into level 14. All right, anybody's game. Agnosia maintaining that lead though, and has a little bit more runway. 143 lines versus 153, so 10 lines behind. Drops a Tetris. Blink fires back with the Tetris. All right, another Tetris for Agnosia. Kind of curious to see how late these players can play. So, okay. Level 13 through 15 is the same speed, and 16 through 18 is the same speed. We're going to see a huge speed jump at level 19. We'll see if Blank or Agnosia can play into these later levels. 19 is definitely the biggest jump, and then, of course, 29, which is like the kill screen for most players if you can't roll or hyper tap at light speed. But Agnosia tops out, but Blank isn't quite there yet. That long bar should do it though, and Tetris takes the lead. Very nice game. It's getting a little hairy there, but that long bar coming in clutch, and Blank will take the game here. GG. Thank you two for playing. All right, so up next we're gonna have, I think Mac and Cheesy is up again. Is that the case? Mac and Cheesy versus Cool Matt. So we can get a match for Cool Matt in here. Yes, that was a great game. A Jello enthusiast. I don't know if eating soup and Jello for 2 days means you're an enthusiast. I could be wrong, though. Do we have any Jello enthusiasts in the chat? Okay, we'll get T-Storm up next. If need be, I will be playing T-Storm. I need to make sure I have my controller somewhere. All right, let's do this. Cool Matt versus Mac and Cheesy. All right. Level 5 starts tonight. All for it. You know, even level 5 starts with like really high level players can be interesting because you have so much runway and soft drop becomes such a big thing. I miss watching the 0 to 19 speed runs for CTWC. Those were a lot of fun. I think some of the regionals have been doing it again. Oh, really? I wonder if that's immortalized as a clip or anything like that. But welcome back, and nice game. Agnosia is no slouch. This time you got the dub. Is a classic your go-to? Ooh, rough misdrop on that Z piece, but Matt gets the Tetris. Able to bring it down. Gonna find some down stacks, most likely. No slouch. It's a fun word. You mean classic for multiplayer, okay. You just TEC19 PB'd. T-Storm, that's not what I want to hear. Except I do want to hear it. Nice job. What was your PB landed at? Or what did your PB land at? B56, very nice. For the layman, that is 1,156,000. So T-Storm can crush it. Ooh, rough misdrop there from Mac and Cheesy. Sometimes those soft drop misdrops will like... It seems like obvious I shouldn't be soft dropping there, or you should have time, but I do the same thing, where it's just like... It's just muscle memory. You think it's in the right spot, so you just hold soft drop. Yeah, soft drops will mess with everybody. When you're watching as a viewer, it's like, what? How could you mess that up? But it's because the game's hard to control, and you're thinking a step ahead, right? So sometimes you'll soft drop and just be thinking about the next piece instead, not even looking at the board, right? Because you've already like set it in stone, like, yep, I'm putting this piece here. All right, triple for Mac and Cheesy to bring it down. Matt has a nice 28k lead. Is getting one row up Tetrises, very nice. Can maybe burn when it makes sense too. No rush when you're only one row up though. Finds a nice burn there. Mac and Cheesy's board is getting a little out of this world. See if she'll be able to bring it down here. I got messed up when the speed drops to 1 on Mystery more than playing upside down. Really? On the reset blitz? Reset's nice. You can take a deep breath. You can always pause, grab a snack, and come back to know that your speed is reset. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I haven't really put into words why I've misdropped so much with soft drop. But usually it's when you're looking ahead, in my case. I guess there isn't a ghost piece, is there? So in Classic, you don't have the ghost piece that you have in Zone Battle, where you can kind of have a little outline to know where it's going to land. So that can also mess with some players. Okay, well, Mac and Cheesy was able to bring the board down. Now it's up to Matt to be able to accommodate this higher speed. Oh man, where is that long bar? Ooh, no, get on to the left. Oh, gets it right to the left. 2 long bars that were meant for that's torture. That were not able to be thrown down this massive Tetris well. Oh my god, he got 2 more long bars there. Right when he needed it, Matt. Okay, so it's up to Mac and Cheesy to clear. That's quite the score lead, though, so this is not over for Matt by any means. Mac and Cheesy is going to have to score some Tetrises in the next 2 minutes. So some pressure there. Some pressure, but no pressure. Play it cool. Well, your greed also might be your benefit here, Matt, because you have quite the lead from mostly getting Tetrises, right? Only Tetrises to the end. And this isn't really an ideal board to set up like higher Tetrises on, unfortunately, so panic might be setting in. Only 1 minute left. Nice, clear. I think this is still... this is tough. Oh, this might be it. That is going to be it for Mac and Cheesy. Nice try. Matt with a very efficient game. And honestly, that 2-minute timer posing a threat. And it shows how strong that is. Especially on these earlier levels, right? Where you might not be so confident in your soft dropping ability. GG. So I believe T-Storm is on deck here, right? Do we not have anyone on T-Storm's level? Doesn't look like it. All right. I'm going to hook up my controller. Where is my... There it is. T-Storm is 9,700. I feel like you're probably better than that, though. How much rank do you play, T-Storm? T-Storm's a pretty competent classic player on both original hardware and in TEC. So we'll see if I can hold up here. In a best of 1, anything can happen in classic, though. But we might have time for one more match after this. So if there's any stragglers, Ferox, I know Jason wanted to play another match. I'd be down for another match after this if somebody else wants to play. So we're making good time here. So especially if you haven't played yet and you're looking to play a match, don't be shy. Drop a note in the matchmaking thread on Discord. And T-Storm, the room code's in the Discord. I'll share it with you. I'll just tag you. Yeah, I know Jason wanted to play one more, or Pac-Man. I say Jason because they had... Sometimes, okay, if someone has like a nickname, and then a name that is... I feel like this is what my brain does. If there are other nickname, sometimes people have two names in-game, one in-game, one out-of-game. I usually revert to what is the easiest one to say. I guess Pac-Man and Jason is about the same. If that makes sense. So Morg versus Coffee and Tetris, for example. I feel like I should, over time, I'd probably just refer to the player as Morg. All right, looks like T-Storm is in here. We could probably do an 18 start T-Storm. I'm ready when you are. Oh, hopefully my controls good here. Oh, I could have had my cam up. I guess I still can. I'll take it off. I don't want anyone to see how sweaty I am trying to keep up with T-Storm here. And I can, if it helps, I know some people here are still like new to competition or learning about the game. I could always try to talk through what I'm doing at least. Not what T-Storm's doing, that's too much multitasking. Given the game loads. Ooh, gumbo. I love a gumbo. There is someone on PBS, if you live in the United States. What's his name? It's like a... I come from a foodie family. There's a guy on PBS that cooks on the weekends. He makes a mean gumbo. I think he does like other Cajun dishes. I can't remember his name. All right. To roll up Tetris here. Now, one thing against T-Storm is I have to kind of play... how do I put it? I could either A, play more conservative and hope that T-Storm tops out, or B, out of respect to T-Storm, especially considering they just got a personal best on 19, I should try to play super aggressive on an earlier level so that I can try to keep up with T-Storm in the later phase of the game, right? So I have a stronger, more aggressive 18, and then in the higher levels, just try to keep up. Just took a lot of singles there. So T-Storm with a higher Tetris rate. So some poor piece dependencies here. Sometimes I just throw pieces to the left or right until I can try to, almost like a hold cue, right? You can use the left side as a hold cue or just place over your well if you have to. Ooh, miss. So I use what's called the cope's coming in. I use what's called the dash system, or the like built-in control, right? So I hold left and right to maintain speed. I don't tap. I think tapping generally is good for finesse. There are some benefits to what I do, right? I think the built-in dash does eventually get to a pretty high speed. However, you have to do a really good job of maintaining that speed. And there you might run into some issues like I did with that misdrop, where you try to move your next piece a little sooner than, or before it pops up on the board, because you're trying to maintain that full speed, right? So you have to have a really nice rhythm if you use the built-in control. I don't like my board right now because of the higher center and lower sides. Kind of makes for poor situation. Oh man. All right, looking like, oh no, not looking like. Oh man, my control. It's a little off. All right, run it back. I won't stand for this, T-Storm. Welcome in Double Bubble Trouble. No, I don't think, not Emerald. I might be wrong. Somebody else. Like a Kevin or something. Is it Kevin? It's been a while. I don't really know their names. I just know it's going to be on the TV when I am at my family's for like a get together. So I know their faces. All right, so last game with T-Storm here, and then we'll have our final match, likely between Jason and whoever else is lingering here. Don't be shy. See if we can get to 19 at least here. I'll play a little safe so we can let T-Storm show off. T-Storm was really close to top 4 in this past TECWC, if I'm not mistaken. Top 4... Maybe not top 4, but T-Storm has what it takes, in my opinion. And has been playing a lot of Tetris Effect Connected. T-Storm's up high here, so I could kind of chill out a little bit, but I do know T-Storm moves fast enough where it's like I should expect T-Storm to survive, right? So I need to keep scoring. Playing a little greedy. Just take it down. Take it down. So I need to build my left a little bit higher. It'll kind of help with my piece dependencies that I'm running into anyways. I wasn't really able to make the most of this situation that T-Storm's in, unfortunately. There we go. T-Storm's back in business. But this is the kind of lead I need against a player like T-Storm, so that I can play a little more conservative later on. Because I won't be able to stack as high on the higher levels. As I misdrop. Okay. I took some line clears just to get kind of a clean slate there. My board was not very level. Oh man, I'm having trouble filling out the left here. Almost at the point where I'm playing too safe. All right, we are at the Joey Parker turn. So anything in Tetris has to be associated with a Tetris community member. So around 100 lines, the idea of the turn is you start to prepare for the transition at 130 lines. Just make sure you're not like too far up on your board. Just as a mental reminder. Also at 100 lines, I tend to check what my score is, just get an idea of the pace. Usually I want to be like above 400k, which I don't think I was. Oh, also, so T-Storm's a little bit in the future, so I need to keep that in note. One thing I could do if I'm really gaming is listen for any Tetris sounds and kind of be on the lookout for long bars when T-Storm receives them. Just to know that I'll be able to score some Tetrises coming up here and stack aggressively. Ah! Oh. So now I make a bunch of grunts and random noises just to help me with my gameplay. I recommend doing so. Oh, I missed that. Oh, man. All right, nicely played. I hit the 500k mark. I'll take that. Oh, T-Storm's going to top out. T-Storm, are you... I feel like I always ask you this. You can roll, correct? I feel like T-Storm can roll. I know T-Storm's super fast at tapping as well, which works on Tetris Effect just fine. It is Shenover. Yes, that is correct, Matt. GG. Oh, you do not roll. Okay. But nice to play T-Storm. And I will not cope. I will do my best. No cope. I have many reasons why I lost, but we will not state them. Up next is... Did we find someone for Pac-Man here to end up the stream? Let's see. To end the stream. if anyone is looking for one more game around the... what rating is that? Around the 5K rating. Yeah, I saw you were crazy high up there on 18. Oh, we can do Commodore Friday. Commodore Friday is pretty good. But you haven't played yet. We can just do that. Pac-Man, if you're still around. Here, I'll tag you with the code Friday. Also, I have a new keyboard. My other keyboard. I just got this keyboard today. The other one was... The keycaps were pretty destroyed, and it got to the point where some of the keys weren't working. The control key wasn't working. I couldn't copy-paste. So, that was the end of the keyboard's life. But I still have to get used to it. Okay. Welcome in, Lokenzie. Hope you're doing well. On my, what I'm looking at here on my chat combiner, I see a black cat as your profile picture. Hope the cat is living a good life. All right, so Commodore Friday and Pac-Man when you're ready. I'm ready. Good luck. Have fun. Oh, where's TC? There it is. Oh, you're on the max grind. Good luck. Are you close? So the max out being for any non-classic players here, reaching 1 million points, or on the old console, 999,999 caps out before that 1 million. But it does not cap out on Tetris Spec Connected, so we have that extra digit. We have the technology here in the future of gaming to display million-plus scores. Topped out at 27. Ooh, that's rough. 740k at 24 is... Yeah, that's like golden pace. So we got Commodore Friday on the right for our grand finale here tonight. T-Storm versus me. That's whatever. It's all about Commodore Friday and Pac-Man bringing the encore. And both players have a troublesome stack, actually. Commodore Friday finds a nice burn. Opted for the square instead after seeing the upcoming piece. Oh man. This might be a run it back territory here, and Pac-Man gets the win. We can do one more game for Commodore Friday. I think Pac-Man wanted a win. I saw earlier in Discord. Maybe he'll get a win on stream one day. Pac-Man, you take this. A win is a win. Commodore Friday is pretty good, so nicely done. But yeah, we can do one more game. Yeah. Low speeds can be kind of a counter pick, right? That's like even at high level when people pick 15, just to throw off someone that's used to another speed, right? Especially because low gravity, you can't really... tuck pieces in as naturally as when the piece is falling quickly. If you're used to that kind of play style. And like we were discussing earlier, soft dropping can actually be prone to a lot of misdrops if you're thinking ahead a little bit. Pac-Man, yeah, just needs to fill out the left a little bit there. Should be good. Yeah, I like that placement of the square, just to even it out. It's a big brain move. Alright, guess a triple with this long bar. Still not... Okay, they'll be almost Tetris ready here if Jason opts to go for it. And Commodore Friday with the Tetris, taking the lead. There we go. Tetris for Pac-Man. Oh, sorry about that. Might have been a few hiccups. Alright, so Pac-Man, despite a rocky start, still scoring, getting some Tetrises. I like what I'm seeing when it comes to the decision making. We can see it a little more in real time due to the lower gravity, which is nice. Setting up for a T-spin. I love it. Screw the T-spin, just break it, take the burns. This is classic. Although I also love the style that comes with going for T-spins that are unnecessary, but we're gaming. We're going for optimal play here. And there we go. Pac-Man has a really clean well set up, and boom, Tetris for Pac-Man. Alright, dropping another one. So Pac-Man trying to make the comeback here, because Commodore Friday's kept it real clean with this 0-9 well. To the point where I haven't looked over there as much, because Pac-Man is doing some crazy maneuvers. Another Tetris for Commodore Friday. Ooh. Okay. You see the nice double burn there. Nicely played from Pac-Man. Commodore Friday is getting quite the lead. A vengeance after that early top out. With a whopping 92% Tetris rate. That's crazy. And yeah, as we are on the tail end of the stream here, be sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. If you're new to Tetris Effect Connected and or the Enhance community. And that Discord is at discord.gg/enhance. Let me just put it in the chat real quick. Put it in the YouTube so that it's parked nicely in our VOD. All right, see you, Matt. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you had some fun. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to have the full moon hangout if you want to stop by for that in the Enhanced Discord. We'll be hanging out in the voice chat. You don't have to talk or anything. You can just lurk and hang out and listen in. But yeah, we'll be playing some full moon multiplayer, the weekend ritual, etc., etc. We'll be playing Tetris. I may or may not talk some smack with Ferox. That is a ceremony at this point. I feel like it has to be done. The zone battle match. So our bi-weekly zone battle check-in with Ferox. It'll be a good time. Pac-Man has some burning to do. Commodore Friday keeping a really clean 0-9 this whole game. We are getting to the later levels, which means Pac-Man, as long as Pac-Man can survive, will be in a position to get caught up despite a weaker start score-wise, because Tetrises are going to be worth a lot more 10 levels from now, to the point where like 3 Tetrises will do it. Somebody with a score attack, I'd be down. I do want to... the only avatar I've never gotten on the multiplayer is the Spider avatar. 100 ranked wins in score attack during full moon only. So yeah, Ferox, if you want to snipe me like 10 to 20 times, that'd really help me out to get that avatar. Alright, so Pac-Man behind by... Let's just go with 70k. See if they can make the miraculous comeback. Haven't played ranked ZB in a while. Why wait? And yeah, if anyone participating tonight is looking for extra matches, I know some of us have been doing it already, but feel free to drop... hold that thought, because Commodore Friday misdrops a T-piece, is going to top out 50k in the lead. Oh, but Pac-Man has quite the board here, unfortunately for them, and will top out there. GG's. So 1-1. If you guys want to shake hands, that's a truce, I believe. You can go your merry ways, write a peace treaty, whatever it means. No winner here today, no best of 3. So talk it out amongst yourself, figure out what you need to do until next time, until your next battle. We will enter an era of peace. So thank you too for playing and for ending our stream. And yes, be sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. I won't go through that whole spiel again. But that was a lot of fun. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And yeah, this VOD will be parked on our YouTube if you want to share any of the matches with anybody. And yeah, I think that's it from me. Next week is... Oh, what is next week? Zone Battle, I believe. I think we're due for Zone Battle. I might be wrong. Zone Battle? Sounds right. Let me double check. Then following that will be Connected Versus. Let's see. Yes, it is Zone Battle next week. So, no more of that classic nostalgia gameplay. We're going to hop into the future with Zone Battle. So be sure to stop by next Friday, same time, same place. Likely a lot of the same players, which I love to see it. All right, and I think we'll call it there. No raid today. Actually, we'll see. Might raid somebody on Twitch. But I'm going to close the YouTube stream. Bye, YouTube. Buy Steam. Buy Steam Store. All right. So, anybody on Twitch streaming? Let's see. Yeah, thank you all for playing. Fun as always. I do love that I get to finish up my work week with Tetris with the community. That is my go-to, my home. So we have classic Tetris, regional. I had a classic Tetris. We are playing classic Tetris after all, right? If it wasn't for classic Tetris, this game mode in Tetris Effect would not exist. So Show him the love. And Tetris time. Tetris time. He's a good player. In action. I only see part of the title, so we're about to see what's going down here. But yep, see you all.